everybody, it's me, ShandrahFaith, here with Reading Rainbow's Divination. And today's pick a card is your life's purpose. So, we have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So, pick your pile and I'll meet you there. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, it's me, ShandrahFaith, with Reading Rainbow's Divination, here for another pick a card reading. Today's pick a card reading is your life's purpose. And since that is a big reading, we are going to light 3 candles. Today, number 1's my initiators. I don't know why you really need to see this one, and you've picked the Bell book. There must be something there that wasn't there before. Or you may be really into reading books, kind of the bookish type maybe. So we have 2 white candles for purity and new starts, since we're trying to figure out that opening up, that cleansing, so that you can create that blank canvas for you to create your dreams. And then we're also going to read about the red chakra from the Chakra Wisdom's Oracle Guidebook, which is also a oracle deck. Sorry. Oh, my nose. My nose chakra. So we're going to light a red candle as well. So let me read about the root chakra, which this red candle is representing. It is overall grounding, keywords: vital, sexual, passionate, energized, forceful, manifesting intention. The first chakra relates to the source of your energy and to how you are building your foundation. Think of the root chakra as a platform. The red cards represent the support you have created or are creating for your future, and the root chakra cards show us a new way to bring our dreams to fruition. They denote beginnings and reveal how to create a solid foundation in tangible form. Keep this in mind. If you are not yet creating what you say you desire, you may need to grow your energetic root deeper and wider into the earth plane. An abundance of red cards in a reading is a strong indication of how you are building your foundation, and will offer energetic ideas about what is necessary for you to manifest. These cards represent the beginning of an undertaking and may guide you away from the old ideas that no longer work in your life. Red cards ask, how does this card represent the place from which I can create something extraordinary? So exactly, with this reading, we are creating a platform for our dreams and guidance to what direction you need to go. Your entire life should go to. So that sounds great. So we're gonna do our cord cutting, which I cut down the wick so that we can cut at negative cords that are attached to anyone in any of these piles, any of the viewers of this video. So we cut these negative ties. Boop. Boop. And boop. Okay. Put the wicks away. And then put it in my handy dandy familiar Anubis, this winged dog right here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, is it not going to stick today? Usually works. Sometimes it's difficult, which, I don't know. I imagine means it's going to be a hefty reading. So hopefully that won't fall over. Okay, so, ouch. Whew, this has already gotten hot. So I'm just going to rub it around right here. Since these are more of the correct size for these candles. Actually, I don't even think I need to light them to stick them in. All right, so let's light them up. Boop, boop, boop. All right, and let's get into your reading, pile number 1. So today we're going to use Archetypes Guidebook by Kim Grant. Beautiful deck. Okay. So, spirits. Ooh, I can feel the heat from all these candles. I've never initiated with 3 candles, but we got some big life purposes here, don't we, spirits? I'm like really afraid that red candle's gonna fall over, but okay, it feels secure. It's just, you know, we don't have to go through a straight line in our life. Pile 1s. Ooh la la. Mirror, the creator. Sword. The lover in the mirror. Ooh. And your overall bottom of the deck energy is the threshold, which means that beginning, that platform that the red chakra, the root chakra is all about. The red chakra, the root chakra. So you have the Starborn, the Creator, the Pilgrim. Howdy, Pilgrim. The Sword, the Mirror, and the Lover, which this is like definite twin flame journey confirmation if any of you guys are looking for that, because in a twin flame connection, the swans are a big indicator of twin flames. And also the mirror, where you are supposed to be twin flame mirrors, mirroring your life, paralleling life. So a big part of your life purpose is that you're going to be in a twin flame relationship. Yay! for most of you, or some of you, I don't know. But this is a general reading, so it could go for whatever. Anything goes. So then we also have the Starborn and the Creator. So we got some people who are destined for artistic fame and also communicating to different forms of communication. So I can see a lot of diviners, people who may work in the media, people who are really good at public speaking. And then we have the Pilgrim and the Sword. Ooh. Okay, so I'm just going to read a little bit about each card so you can get a little more idea of maybe where you're going. So the Starborn is the divine child, the star child, the destined. When light, a light, trusting, vibrant, aimed. When dark, feeling of misalignment, loss, and longing. I kind of just want to read this because I feel like this is really your card, guys, that you might also look into star seeds and figure out your soul family in that way. You could also be a star seed. An elusive yet radiant aspect of the self, the Starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arrives with each being at birth. The moment the newborn crowns, whether vaginally, oh my god, I love reading words that make me laugh. Whether vaginally or surgically, the royal stars above are said to constellate in a unique shape that maps our path in the world. The idea of destiny is controversial, yet the Starborn naturally feels a sense of destination and purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane. When this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Read the story of the three fates and envision yourself born under the stars with a unique destiny. So there is just big things waiting for you, pile one. Great big things. And don't be overwhelmed by that. I mean, can't tell you how to feel, but I was the same way. There is a lot of, now that I've gotten really close to the spiritual, I know I just said that really low, the spiritual part of me, it was weird because a lot of my growing up was already being told I'm supposed to be amazing, I'm destined to do this and blah, blah, blah. And it got really overwhelming to, tell a child that they're destined for something amazing, that it made me really scared of even trying because I felt like I wasn't living up to that star-born persona. Oops. And but over time, you're going to accept it and realize that the more you try to hide your star, I mean, when stars die, there's a big explosion and it's like horrific, actually. I feel like, like if our sun dies, it's basically gonna suck us up or without sunlight, we just die off. So there's a lot of horrible consequences for hiding your star. If you are a star, you need to shine or you're going to turn into a black hole, is what I'm getting. And underneath we have the creator. So there is something in you that is artistic, and it doesn't even have to be like painting or music or general arty things. It can also be like the art of law. Like the art of justice. Read my reading recommendation, The Art of Motorcycle Maintenance is really a great way to connect yourself spiritually and creatively, is a great book to connect to. So find what is your art in your life. What is it that you are creating that is both giving you joy and a push towards your passion, while also helping others and others who share the same passion. Hey, pile number one. Sorry, I had to take a potty break. I am a preschool teacher, so I feel like, I usually I tell kids to go to the potty before they go outside so they don't have to come back inside. And I was just thinking, okay, to all you tarot readers out there, make sure you go potty before your reading. But anyway, side note, weird tarot reader advice. So yeah, be that amazing star that you are and find that art that is in your life, wherever it is. Art is not just painting, music, film. It's writing. You can be anything, but if it is those things too, that's great. I try to dabble in lots of things. I think that's the Sag in me, the Sagittarius in me that wants to do everything. Okay, so then we have the Pilgrim and the Sword. And, oops. The Pilgrim, the wanderer, the traveler, the apprentice. For the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the farthest reaches of the globe and the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life, but the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there is freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibilities, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door toward a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon, your spirit needs it. When light, learns, grows, adapts, studies, aloof. When dark, aloof, non-committal, flaky. Go Deeper, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, and Mamine by David White. We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart toward what it loves, moving toward that destiny of yours, pile 1. And then we have the sword. The knife, the blade, the weapon. I was just getting, listen to Bladee, B-L-A-D-E, part of Young Lean's crew. Swedish rappers. I don't know why I'm getting that, but yeah, the sword, the blade, the Bladee. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. The weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword's bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the card we share with the mother is cut. The moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourselves. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. When light, cutting through to what is essential. When dark, hasty backstabbing, a dull and painful blade. Go Deeper, Marina Abramovic's rhythm series. Caravaggio's Judith beheading, Whole Furnace. And I also got the, I wish I remember the artist, but there's this painting of, I forgot her name. It wasn't Jezebel. It was a woman who cut John the Baptist's head off. And it's her sitting with his head. And so it's very like two disparate images. So you have the pilgrim and the sword. So one is like a pacifist and one is a warrior kind of energy. So that's kind of great that you can balance both of that. That maybe what I'm seeing is a lot of like justice warriors we could have. And just people, if you seek the pilgrimage of your passion and move towards that, you can become a stronger individual and use that sword of your mind, the mental sword, to, and in tarot, the sword is thoughts, and this sword to me is that you are bringing everything to a fine point so that you can make the pilgrimage forward to your final destination. It shouldn't be as scary to think like the movie Final Destination, where you're just, the final destination is death. I mean, the final destination to me is finding that passion in your life, that, what did I say this reading was about? The purpose of your life's purpose. And that's where you want to create your thoughts into that sword, is this is my purpose right here, is going towards that art. What does art mean to you, and where is it represented in your life? That is where you need to move towards. The art in your life, the art of life. Read The Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. Don't take my word for it. All right, and finally we have The Mirror and the Lovers, which I already said was a twin flame journey kind of thing. If you don't know what twin flames are, please look it up and see if it relates to your situation. But what I'm seeing here is that if you are in a twin flame situation, your paths will cross through your work, through your life's purpose. Both, if you are true twins, your life purpose is going to be the same. And that as you go towards your life purpose, you are going towards your twin flame for sure, pile ones. And then of course, the threshold, which I think is pretty self-explanatory, but I would like to read what Kim Kranz has to say about the threshold. The threshold is such a beautiful image. It's such a daring and elusive image, because where is the threshold? When does the threshold start? When does it begin? The threshold, the door, the gate, the initiation. We cross thresholds continually, consciously and unconsciously. Doorways, gateways, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. However, you have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. This is not easy work. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death must occur. Some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. The ground seems to crumble as you free fall into your new reality. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend. Just take that one necessary step toward the future that calls you. When light, growth, individuation, ease in the liminal. When dark, resisting, refusal to grow, barriers, boundaries. Go deeper, lie on the floor and listen to Bob Dylan standing in the doorway. So, yeah, when I was talking about that final destination is a death. So you, just like the story of Jesus, where he had to die to be resurrected and finding his true purpose as the Jesus. So you're going to have that moment where you are going to feel like you have to die, or the dark night of the soul. Look that up. And where you feel like everything you believed in, everything you thought was going to happen in the future comes crumbling down. And this new light, like I just imagine like this mountain and the earth cracking open, and this huge light comes out, and it's like, here you go, pile one. That is your life purpose. That is your art. Is once you crumble down everything in your life up to that point, you will finally see your life purpose. Something is going to crumble, and then you are going to be at the precipice, at the threshold. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, I have to go again. I'm sorry, pile one. Hold on. I am so sorry, pile one. I have to keep going to the bathroom. And that just, I had channeled this message about, I dream about peeing, and it's usually because I need to actually get up and pee when I'm sleeping. But it's always in like this closet. I'm always peeing in I remember trying to pee, like I'm always trying to pee, and then like something interrupts me, and that's probably how I wake up. But it's always like I'm in like, it always feels like a closet, or it's usually like a literal closet, or like I had this one dream where I was trying to pee in these stalls, and they were all like covered in clothes. So it was basically in a closet. Maybe it was in a closet, a bathroom that was kind of like a closet, but I don't know what that means. But pile one, you might also have dreams about peeing, and I haven't looked up the meaning of urination in dreams, but what I'm channeling is that peeing is like purification and kind of just getting out the toxins in your body, or maybe even since we're dealing with the swords and thoughts, about the negative thoughts, and that the dream is about purifying yourself, or maybe you just go to the bathroom a lot. I don't know, pile one, if any of that potty talk resonates with you, please comment down below, because that is just so weird. Anyway, now we're gonna go into some tarot with the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot to get a little more insight on what your life purpose is. Oops, where did I put it? Oh, here we go. Okay, spirits. gosh. I didn't think of the cards going into the flame, but look at that. Look at the, oh, I thought those were flames, but those are horses. If flames were horses, jockeys would get burned. Okay, any more? Go. Whoa. Wild card. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that and kind of, I want to see what the bottom of the deck shirt. Santeria Oya. So these cards are, I think, basically have all the regular tarot cards, but then like extra cards, like this wild card. Yeah. So like this is the Three of Pentacles, Three of Earth. Santeria Oya is your bottom of the deck energy. And then we have Petro 5, which is Five of Wands, and it's the Ogun La Flambeau. And then we have Manman Brigitte, that is the Three of Cups. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, which is Ogun. Then we have wild card Les Barons. And Petro Simbi La Flambeau, which is the Eight of Wands, Simbi La Flambeau. Okay, so we got a lot of reading to do. Reading Rainbow's Guess. I love to read. I mean, you guys chose bells, so I feel like there's like, I need to share my love for books with you. I mean, that's why we're called Reading Rainbows, because that show is the shit. That show and Ghost Rider, favorite PBS child shows growing up. For reals, words are the best. So, Petro 5, 3, 2, 4, 5. So, okay. Petro Fire Ogun La Flambeau. Ogun La Flambeau is fire on fire. Here the emotions burn at fever pitch. This Ogun is characterized by dry heat like that of the desert. Given full rain, the forces represented by this card would pull the community and all within it into a dry Mortal Kombat form from which none would emerge. The burning rage of Ogun La Flambeau pushes him to take matters of life and death into his own hands. He may allow his rage to decide who will live and who will die. This usurps the position of the Goudes. Gouda will not take a man or woman whose time has not come. If Bon du Bon has not declared the individual ready, Gouda will not act. This Ogun has freed Haiti. He has fought in the homelands of South Africa. He has defeated Hitler. He is the power that drove the slavers from Haiti, creating the first black republic in the world. This Ogun and the spirit of the Nordic berserker stand side by side. If not directed, his power could kill us all. Oh, pile ones. That's that sword energy. You got that fire. Five of Wands in regular tarot, the Rider-Waite tarot, is these people who are just five people fighting with wands, and this usually means competition, and that's the only word that's coming to me right now. So competition and being the best man standing, best man or woman standing. And you can see right here that all his enemies have fallen. And he is just, the guy who defeated Hitler. This Ogun. So there is just like a lot of warrior energy, because I think that your life purpose is going to bring you a lot of fame and or at least recognition for these deep-seated powers that you have. It's basically a power when I'm telling you to find your art. What is your art? Your art is your power. So whatever that is, that passion, that specialty, go towards it. And if you're having a hard time figuring that out, ask for signs. Ask for signs from the universe that to show you what it is that your art is, if you're having a hard time figuring it out. But if you have figured out your passion, keep going towards it as a warrior. Like, this is a battle. You do have to, I think of yourself as a professional athlete. And that there are athletes that are better than other athletes, just statistically. So just understand that you are going to be better than other people. And if that's hard for you to grasp, or if you've been taught to serve other people before yourself, it is now a time to flip the script on that and being like, I am better than other people. And if I mean, like, take Michael Jordan. He's known as the greatest of all, but that hasn't toppled him, because a lot of professional entertainers, athletes, have fallen up and like just basically lost their life. That final destination literally kills them. And but Michael Jordan is still there, still going. I think I'm just saying this because I watched this Michael Jordan documentary that came out. But yeah, it really showed me that it's hard. It's a hard journey not to fall from such heights. And it is also scary. That's why a lot of people fear success, because the higher you reach for, the longer the fall. But yeah, more of a fall, right? Like, that's, I had a fear of success as well for most of my life, until I really owned up to my power, to understand that I can both be better than other people at my passion, at my art, and be okay with that, and not be, I'm getting the word hubris, where your ego just overinflates yourself and you're like, wow, I'm better than everyone. But then when you say that, any little mistake can just knock you right off your high horse. So what you need to understand is that you are always striving to be the best, and you will be better than other people, and that is okay. As long as you're not gloating about it and putting people down for you being better, and just being like, okay, I'm naturally good at this and I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to stop myself because I feel afraid of the backlash, of the jealousy, of the just even the pity that I would feel if I knew how much it would hurt people to see that I'm better. But if you think of it like as a professional athlete, if you felt bad about winning every game, you wouldn't be a very good athlete. You would feel so guilty every time that you won a game that it would be hard for you to win one more and more. But then you just be, but then the more you lose, the more your self-esteem goes down. So yes, keep that fighting spirit. Then we have Congo 3, which is the 3 of Cups, Man Brigitte. So let's see what that is. And like, what I like to say in this deck is pardon my French, because I don't know. There's a lot of like French words in here that I took Latin in high school, so anyway, Man Brigitte's card is water within the realm of Binha. Man Brigitte calls Goudet her husband and rules along with him the grounds of the cemetery. Along with him, the grounds of the cemetery. She is renowned as a judge and lawyer. I was getting a lot of, justice warriors, definitely. If that's your passion. She is one of the highest powers before when the voodooist can plead his or her case. In the role of judge and lawyer, she is just, for she has balanced the great force of Binha. in her life and death embrace and gently rock back and forth to the measured beat of the court drum. Man Brigitte is change. She is closely associated with Kali. She is fearsome only if change is resisted. Those close to her realize that the price of stability is change. It is the love and devotion of her servitors that give her life, that allow her to walk in the world of the living. It is their understanding that brings Brigitte into the beauty of the world. Her aspect in this card is that of corpse-like woman sitting on a pile of stones. The pile of stones is her altar and is often erected to her in the cemeteries. Let me show you. This is a cool card. The tree in this card is an elm, and the lit candles are placed before her by her servitors. Seated atop her stone altar, she is reminiscent of those adepts who, in their meditative positions, compromised the city of pyramids. Her primary attribute is wise judgment. Falsehood withers at her touch. No lies can abide in the solemn depth of their quiet. If proper judgment is exercised on the part of the voodooist, if death and life are balanced, then pleasure and prosperity will inevitably be found. So life and death being balanced, balancing it on that sword of your passion. And that maybe a lot of your issues is connected to your fear of death or how you look into death. So look into that, being joyous with death, because the Three of Cups, which this represents in regular tarot, is these three dancing ladies with three cups, and they're being joyous. And I think this is your dance with death, because Maman Brigitte is the caretaker of the cemetery, the undertaker. So rejoice in that death. And look at your views of death, because that will really open up doorways for you once you get over that fear of death, so that you can pursue your passions. Because I think a lot of what's going on with you is that you fear succeeding at your passions more than you fear death. And that you fear death more than succeeding in your passions, because you'd rather not die than succeed in your passions, when it should be the other way around. If you don't succeed in your passions, you die. Wow, that was really like some death card talk to you, but I mean death, but it's not a real death. It's a metaphorical death that you need to go through. That is the story of resurrection, is a needed death, the rise of the phoenix. And that's what you need. And then we have the Five of Coin, Santeria Ogun. And we'll read that one. So you got some fives, 2 5s. Ogun is not a mercenary. His force of arms can be employed on either side of an altercation, but his loyalty cannot be bought. Ogun walks with those who call him. His might is that of the earth, a great rock pushed from the top of a hill. Does not distinguish among those. The might of Ogun is very much like this. Once called, direct, and release, the tremendous power of his Loa may jump the predetermined channels of expression. Unforeseen shock waves can destroy all in their path. Gebera, during the present Aeon, is heavily associated with traditional male endeavors. Obatala and Ogun are the two primary cool and hot aspects of the male character. Obatala is cool as Obagana is hot. In terms of conflict, Ogun is the warrior and Obatala is the soldier. So here's the soldier and the warrior, and they're like policemen on top of 2 horses, so it's kind of like those mounted police you see. Contemplation, an iron gun, old yet capable of firing a lethal bullet. The gun was not made for target practice or the hunting of food. It has but one purpose. It has but one target. Divination, containment of great internal and external pressures, stress, strain, worry that arises as a result of this constant pressure. the strength to stand solidly before threat or adversity. So yeah, there's probably, for some of you guys, it's this pressure that because you've been having such a big fear of success, you've created these policemen in your mind that are stopping you from your goal, from your passion, from your art. It is these thoughts, and kind of looks like a sword in the back. I think it's the road. I think this is a road, but it looks like a sword that's coming. And so a lot of this sword imagery is that the thoughts are getting in your way. And the Five of Pentacles in regular tarot is these people who are outcasts from a church and are out in the snow. And so these are kind of the guards at the gate of your destiny. And you place them there, and they're not nice guards. They're not going to let you through. Even it's kind of like when you're like, hey, that's my house. Can I go through? And there's like a police line. I mean, then that means something bad happened. But nothing is bad going on towards your dreams. You are on your journey, and you need to defund the police in your mind so that they can move away, so you can get towards your dreams. Because success I believe that not going towards your success and not being the person you were born to be, the starborn, if you don't complete this mission, that is worse than death. You can live to 100 and have not completed your life's mission, and that is definitely worse than death, is living that unlived life, being literally the undead, because you didn't die. You're not dead, but you're not fulfilled either. Then we have Les Barons, the wild card, which I had open to, so let's see if we can find them again. Dang. There we go. The wild card. The Barons. Unexpected change. Papa Guy. Oh, okay. I was like, that is in French. I'm talking, but they have things come. Papa Guide is a handsome fellow. Papa Guide is a handsome fellow. He is dressed all in black, for he's going to the palace. Whew. The Barons belong... Oh, sorry. Quoted by Harold Corlander, The Drum and the Hoe, page 58. The Barons belong to and lead the family of Guida spirits. These Guida Barons are not spirits of the dead, but the spirit of death itself. Look at all that deathness that's coming to you, pile one. And please, it is not actual death. It is a death that needs to happen in your life. And now that I just said that, it also could mean that a person did recently die that is triggering like a lot of things in you, because this person has died and they are not in your life anymore, and it has shaken up your world and also gotten you closer to what are your feelings toward death. So again, pile ones, look into death and what it means to you. And I don't know, take a death journey and research death and what other philosophers say about death. And again, what the universe is guiding you to, signs and symbols, please find that, because I think you have such an amazing journey ahead of you, and that you are this starborn creator, and that humanity needs people to reach their goals. They say that Hitler wanted to be an artist, and he failed at that somehow. And the same with Charles Manson. He wanted to be a singer-songwriter. I've listened to his record. Oh my God, my hair clip fell off. That's what happens when you talk about Charles Manson. But I mean, I liked his record, but he got rejected by the studio or something like that. And it's just like, you see these rejected artists become basically cult leaders who initiate killings because their dream. Oh my gosh. I did not realize this happened right here. This like candle exploded. so um so take that into account, that is not living your dreams worse than death? Or is death gonna consume your life while you're living if you don't live your dreams? That's the question. Then we have 8 of Petro, which is 8 of Wands. Simbula Flambeau. All right, let's read. All right. Contemplation, observe your thoughts. What part of you thinks? What part of you observes? Short divination, short-lived perfection, and uncovering of hidden motives or aspects of the affair at hand. Secrecy with a tendency towards stubbornness. Plots, rapid thought or action. So, in the regular tarot, the Wands is a picture of basically 8 wands just kind of flying in midair, usually pointing towards other cards that could guide you to what is it that you need to focus on. But this is also, in this deck, it's an image of a woman riding a snake into the flames. What I'm seeing is like into another dimension. And again, this is going towards that resurrection, that death, that dark night of the soul that you need to go through. Embrace the snake. Embrace that the snake is the messenger of your dreams. And if you have a fear of snakes, I think that is a call to look into the spiritual meaning of snakes, because snakes have always been a powerful creature. They have just been demonized by Christianity because of the Adam and Eve myth. But snakes have been such a powerful spiritual creature. I like, similar to the unicorn is what, like, my 2 very spiritual creatures are the unicorn and the snake. And I get so disappointed that people are so afraid of them. And the same with spiders as well. It's like spiders and snakes have such beautiful spiritual meanings, and are such beautiful creatures that have been demonized. That yeah, I would think you guys have to look into that to understand your passions and what you need to do to follow your passions. And then your overall bottom of the deck energy is Santeria 5, which is the 3 of coin, which is my work bitch tarot card. And Oya. Oh, look at this. There's like a lot of feet coming out of this cloud. That also has lightning bolts coming out of it. So let me see what that means. I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. If I had $1 million, then I'd spend it all. When I hear like there's Santeria cards in here, and yeah, I love that song. Whirling cloth, tears through worlds, Oya, wild dancer on death's thin edge. Wow, so much death imagery, pile ones. The ancestors rise to your call as the jangling beat of bata guides your feet. Within you, let me hold this up. Oh, within you, the womb and tomb are held in perfect balance, mistress of the marketplace where all paths meet, mistress of the earth's deep searing pressures, mistress of the sky's hot fire, sky's whirlwind tearing into earth, mother of storms, all hurricanes and final reckoning bear your name. In New Orleans, hurricane season is the time of Oya. All of these storms are named for her sons and daughters. Her family is closely watched. The power of Oya celebrated in these cards is the elemental might of earth acting through Binha. She shares the earth's power, compacted and ever erupting under the tremendous pressure. Her name itself is associated with a tearing. Among the Yoruba, it is she who owns the torn cloth used in the ancestral masquerades of the Engungun. She is also the patron of the women who command the marketplace. Contemplation. Lightning strikes a tree within the graveyard. It falls and becomes covered with the far-reaching growth of an eggplant. Divination. An abrupt change in situation. Gain in the marketplace. Turn for the better in matters of business. So, I like that. Again, I'm going to read that again. Lightning strikes a tree within the graveyard. It falls and becomes covered with the far-reaching growth of an eggplant. So, yes, so you've got the card of basically the undertaker, the caregiver of the grave. And there's just, we've been all just talking about death this whole time. So pile 1 is, you need to look at your relationship with death and understand that also there could just be a moment where you are just going to be struck down, and that is where you're going to find your moment. And then the Three of Wands in the regular tarot is this person who is looking out to their future, to the ships that they have cast off. I always think it's like the ships that are going to America, because there's like 3 ships, and it's just like, this is, I don't know where this is going, but it's going somewhere, and it's the right direction, and I know it. So again, look into your relationship with death, and that is what is going to push you forward towards your goal, towards that final destination. So let's get some dream interpretation cards, because we are talking about your dreams. So let's see if there's any word clues, images that will kind of get you going and figuring out your life purpose as well. Pile 1s. So, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for Anubis with all this red, but you know, guys. So, what, could you give us some more clues into what's, oh my gosh, to what pile 1's life purpose is? So let's see, we got sweets. These are very detailed images, so hopefully you can see them. Children. So you may work with children, or even be just teaching people things. Could be a part of your passion. Keys. And wedding. Going back with our twin flame thing. Finding union. So if you are on your twin flame journey, this will also help you figure out your life purpose. If you're still confused, is what are you and your twin interested in? What are you both going towards? Figure that out. And that will help you go towards your goal for sure. And what I'm getting from keys and sweets is that you are going to get some messages in your dreams that are going to be the stepping stones to helping you. So write down your dreams every day, even if it's just like 3 words, 1 word. It will begin to create a pattern. I've just been starting this dream journal for the last 2 weeks, and I was always thinking, like I can just remember like 1 thing, but over time, as you keep writing out your dreams every night, or I mean every morning when you wake up, even if it's just 1 word, you're going to find a pattern. You be like recommend the movie Memento, and how he's like he has like short-term memory loss, and he doesn't remember anything, so he gets things tattooed to him. So every day is like a clue, or like 50 First Dates, any of those short-term memory loss kind of movies. So, okay. So then we're gonna get some divination blocks. Oh. This is not a divination block, but this is a house. So what I like about this is just, this is the basically representing the foundation of the house, because there's no roof yet. So yes, and we're talking about the root chakra and creating that foundation towards your passion, towards your life purpose. And then we have a K and a K, double Ks. We have a 0, I think, or an O, whichever you want. Oh, 2 zeros. Okay. So 0, 0, O, O. Baseball, yes, my favorite sport. Shan's favorite sport. So baseball may be significant to you. 8 and the infinity sign, which is also 8 and 11 are big twin flame numbers for me too. So because 8 represents that infinity sign. And then we have the cow, which is that mother nurturing, especially if you work with children or if you are going to be a mentor in the future. I'm seeing that, oh, this is such a weird image, but I'm seeing like you are the cow and people are feeding off your udders or the milk from your udders. And metaphorically, that means just the information, the light that you're going to give to people when you finally go towards your passion and figure out your relationship to death. And then let's get some charms. So we got football, American football, so baseball, football, again, and 49ers, if that's your team. So again, I think this is reiterating that professional athlete metaphor I was talking about earlier, about just being the best and being okay with being the best and always striving for the best, just like a professional athlete would. It's their job to try to be the best. And it should be everybody's job, because everyone should be living their best life and being in a job that they love and that's creating the passions that they need. No one should be stuck in a shitty job for the rest of their life. And then we have the bow and arrow, the crossbow. And I'm thinking that's representing, again, that sword energy, that pointed energy where you're going to point yourself towards the right direction and really focus yourself, grab onto your passion and move forward, and be open to signs and symbols and your guides. Then we have Sacramento, California, where I was born and raised. And this is my ancestors' charm that get some information about your ancestors, where you grew up. That could also help you with your passions, or maybe talk to some family members if you're really confused about where you're needing to go. And then we have this triangle with the 3 circles and the big mama circle in the middle. So again, that's like that nurturing energy, that family unit, and really bringing everything together into a point. Again, you get that point, sword, arrow imagery, bringing everything together to balancing that out for you, pile ones. And then finally we have, is that a 2 or a Q? I don't know. I think that's a Q, like a cursive Q. Or it's a 2. It kind of looks more like a 2. Whatever. Whatever is what I say to you, pile 1. So that's all I have for you. Thank you, pile 1, for joining me, and hopefully that helped you get some insight on your life purpose. I will see you next time in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, it's me, ShandrahFaith, here with Reading Rainbow's Divination, here with another pick a card reading for you. Today we are asking Spirit, what is your purpose in life? For pile number 2, who chose the Art of Tarot. So maybe you guys are getting into your occult side, your esoteric side, your spiritual side, and maybe you are already diviners in your own sense. So and then maybe just tarot itself is going to actually help you. If it's not being a tarot reader, it's using tarot to figure out what your life purpose is. So, I mean, obviously, since you're watching this video, but also take some guidance from other readers, palm readers, tarot readers in real life, call up a psychic. The divine has many messages for you, is what I'm getting so far. Pile number 2. So we are going to use Kim Cran's book, Archetypes. No, we're going to use this book and her cards to figure out what is your life purpose. Pile number 2. What is that? The Sustainer, the Dead End, Okay, so we got the Sustainer, Anima Mundi, an initiation card. So that's one of the, it's like the major arcana in the regular tarot, the Rider-Waite tarot. We have the Dead End, Venom, Desert, and the Stone. And your bottom of the deck energy is the Tear. So first of all, I feel like some of you are going to literally move to the desert, or the somewhere that is deserty. I don't know, for people in the United States, I feel like it's like Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, this like dry desert areas are going to be calling to you. The Mojave Desert, even parts of California, there's just, the desert is calling you, pile 2. So we have the Sustainer clarified by Animus Mundi. So let's read into that. The Sustainer, the Peacemaker, the Upholder, the Preserver. When light, abundant, generous, supportive, reliable. When dark, overworked, resentful, trapped, tired. Lakshmi, Vishnu, Demeter. The Sustainer, the second archetype in the trio of existence. Wow, the trio of existence. Works behind the scenes, tending to the tasks of life. They cultivate gardens, pay bills, keep the meals warm, and the mouths sweetly fed. The Sustainer is at peace in the process of life, knowing there is no start or finish to humble yet meaningful tasks. They have a natural inclination to nourish others, to archive, to preserve Earth's resources, to consider environmental impact, to see their role in the divine cycle of life. It's common for the Sustainer to become overworked, leading to resentment. Their tasks aren't glamorous, and therefore the Sustainer rarely receives the credit or attention. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. The Sustainer longs to hold things in place so badly, especially relationships, that they resist necessary change. Take time with this archetype. It is within us all and needs our love. So it's like this nurturing energy. And what you're nurturing is the Anima Mundi. It's really, there's a lot going on in this card. Ooh. So, the soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers. Bonded together by loving cosmic forces, diversity is celebrated. Multiplicity is honored and nothing is denied. Embrace. Oh, and nothing is denied. Embrace. Oh, I get it. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. When light, tending to the sacred details of life. When dark, overwhelmed by the bigness of existence. Go deeper. Alchemical drawings of Anima Mundi and the life and paintings of Hilma of Afklint. So you have this powerful, nurturing energy. So you could be a caregiver of any sort, teacher, babysitter, you could take care of the elderly, and that you are the world to whoever you're taking care of. You are this meditating person in the middle, and that you are molding and taking care of whoever it is that you're working with. So I see like social workers and just people who are shaping people's life, even in like educational administrators, and yeah, that sort. Caregiver people, caregiver network. I myself am a preschool teacher, preschool business owner, and I'm part of this collective in Denver, Aurora, Colorado, called the Caregiver Network, and that's what I'm seeing for you guys, is that you're connected to so many people, and that even if you're taking care of like your sick relative, it's affecting the world. Even if you believe that you're just taking care of one person, that is still affecting the world, and it spreads so much. Or if you're just taking care of a couple kids, or if you're just a babysitter, I'm sorry, I just say just a babysitter. I mean, that was who I was for most of my life. But I mean, there is so many people you're affecting, even if you're taking care of one kid, one person. And that it is so important that we need nurturers, that nurturers are warriors, especially in our society. And then the next section of your reading is the dead end and the venom. So this is what's in the way of the nurturer, especially in this modern society, is that we have been placed in the idea that masculine jobs are where the power lies. And many years ago, the feminine was the more powerful, many years ago in ancient cultures, where the cool earth collective was more towards the motherly energies. And what I'm seeing now is that we are exiting out of the masculine energies and into more of a combination, which is the child energies, which I think goes with the myth of Isis and Osiris and Horus. Gosh, I don't even know why I'm dipping into this Egyptian stuff, but I'm just saying that we're going into a new age where there's not neither masculine or feminine who are going to be powered, but the child, the ion. And right now, as a super nurturer that you are, the sustainer, this dead end and the venom is what is blocking you. There are so many blockages out there in society, especially if you are a social worker and are working through these times as I'm posting it right now. Especially towards the end of 2020, when we have just gone through this pandemic, and educators everywhere have been really challenged this year, especially with remote schools and just everything changing the whole system of education and how children are educated. And I'm, oh my God, I'm getting a little teary-eyed. I work in education, and luckily my school's been open, but there's been a lot of shutdowns of schools and, lessening of class sizes and parents becoming teachers as well as breadwinners. And it's so hard. It really does feel like that dead end in Venom. But the beautiful story of the Venom, let me read it to you. Pile 2. The venom, the poison, the curse, the toxin. Much to our dismay, the venom is always lurking in the shadows in one form or another. Its toxic presence may be found in our relationships, thoughts, speech, or environment. Thankfully, the cycle of purification and detoxification comes so naturally that it is built into our every exhale. We breathe out carbon dioxide and the plants return it to us as oxygen. Archetypal venom is rarely remedied as easily, however, and it can come in potent forms of quantities that are deeply damaging to us and to the world. When the venom card appears, there is a harmful substance in our psychic realm that must be identified. Perhaps our words, have a sting of poison about them. Perhaps our relationship is slowly draining your reserves. Acknowledgement is the first step. Change is the second. The remedy will reveal itself in time, and with it, forgiveness. The spreading of venom is like a chain reaction. When we strike others, it is likely we have ourselves been struck. Break the cycle. When you harm another, you harm yourself. Keep in mind, this goes for our earth as well as with the cosmic consequences. When light, self-realization through suffering. When dark, unwillingness to find a solution or forgive. Go Deeper, Poison Tree by William Blake. So I realized the story I was trying to tell about the venom, which is actually in the Nectar card, which is about, I think it was Shiva, who was able to hold the poison in and turn it into nectar. So with you guys, as the sustainers, as the nurturers, who are in control of this beautiful animus mundi of the world around them, there are going to be, like, especially if you work in the government section or social work, there are going to be venom and dead ends, and you're going to have to work around them or through them by absorbing that venom and transforming it into a nectar or a medicine, into something that can help society. And that these blocks, one of my favorite, I don't know what oracle deck it was from, but one of the messages I got from a YouTube reader is that obstacles are detours to your goals, is what I think it said. But yes, so this dead end, this venom, this poison, is, you have the ability to transform it. I mean, look at this card. These hands are transforming this clay. It is using this elements, this nurturing care that is so powerful, that has been so negated in our society, that especially for women, or jobs that are associated with women, nurses, caregivers, teachers, it's been looked down on. And now with the pandemic, there is, that caregiver role is so important and so dangerous at the same time, especially for medical workers who are out there, especially those nurses who do all the checkups and going back and forth and working with people that need care, that need sustaining, and you also could be be working with the environment. You could also be an environmental warrior who is really passionate about where the world is going and how we can look forward to the future. Again, that is that sustainer mentality, that caregiver mentality, that you want to take care of people so that our future can be brighter, because you don't just care about yourself and about whatever you're doing at the present moment. You care about the future because you care about other people, that you would be nothing without other people. You are a natural caregiver, a natural sustainer. And then we have the desert and the stone. So again, I was talking about like possibly some of you are going to be moving or do live in a place that is in a desert area. And also I'm getting from this is that diamond in the rough, that idea that you have so much power and so much ability to create a better society in you, and that you could be a hospital worker who is just so downtrodden and just like, oh my God, I can't handle this. This has been a whole year of working with sick people with COVID cases and like fearing for my health, and like, or you could even just be fearing in your job, like, oh God, I really hope I don't get coronavirus, and this could affect my whole life. And you also, because you're a caregiver, who takes care of the caregiver when they're sick? What happens when the caregiver is sick? What happens to the people that they're caring for? So all these questions arise in your desert, in that dryness. And there is a gem, there is a stone in there. So we'll read about the stone. Sorry, I'm almost there. Okay. The stone, the eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, of concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us, as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. Wow. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of your world. Yes, pile 2, that is what I see for you. That you are just this humble stone, this humble diamond in the rough that is keeping the world together. Like the way that we don't see gravity, or we don't see the center of the earth that's holding everything together. You are that. You are that stone, that rock that people need and gravitate to. And sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I'm just so overwhelmed. And yet you know that this is what's in your heart, is that if you don't take care of people, you don't take care of yourself. That is who you are. There's that Virgo energy of service. So yeah, keep going towards it. I know it's hard because your overall energy is the tear. And you've probably literally cried actual tears this year, or at the time that you're watching this video. You have such compassion and such amazing power to nurture. And I'm trying to tell you now that it's like, this is the power that we need, because to bring in this new age of the Aeon, we need to bring the feminine energy equal to the masculine energy. And this has been going on for many, many years, that break the glass ceiling kind of thing. And that, that the women's rights movement, since the suffragette movement, has just been working gradually, slowly. Like, it's funny because it's like the stone becomes sand over time, becomes the desert. And that's kind of what I feel with the feminist movement, is that since the suffragette movement in the United States, it's slowly turned into, you know, from one, it becomes millions, you know? So it's like from one person who described themselves as a feminist, or the first person who ever said, hey, I'm a feminist, there was like 1 million people who were like, what? That's terrible. Like, no, women have, you know, this certain place. And even nowadays, there is still some stigma from some people when you acknowledge you're a feminist. And that just really says that being a feminist, to me, really just says that I am for people who are nurturers. I am for people who are caregivers, no matter what gender they are. And for like feminine roles to really go back to the power that they used to have in ancient times, back when women could be rulers. Women can be leaders now, but I mean rulers who are revered for their power. And like I also say this about the way that Mother Mary has been kind of downgraded in Christian cultures, in Christian religions, to, you know, lesser than God and Jesus, who are male figures in the Christian religion. And we really need to bring our divine feminine back to the rightful place. Because with this imbalance, that Illuminati shit, that thing that's like a whirlwind, an upside down tornado that is going into the pit of darkness, that is sucking our lives, that is because of the imbalance of the feminine energy, because it has been shoved down. Literally, oh my God, I'm getting like someone just like fucking making someone blow them and just being like, fuck no, like, I don't need to blow you. I'm going to fucking leave your ass and show you how powerful a woman is. She's not just there for blowjobs, sex, and raising children. She is there to uplift society. And that doesn't mean just women in general, but the feminine energy, men who associate themselves more with the feminine energy, men who love women and who understand the power in women. It's this acceptance of feminine energy. We need people like you, Pile 2, who will spread that idea, that it's not even idea, that truth, that feminine energy is so powerful and should not be suppressed. It should be the forefront. There should be more feminine modalities in society, more feminine run things, where what I mean is like things that are run because of understanding the emotions of other people, understanding the hardships, empathy. It's not a rat race anymore. It's not a capitalist game where the man is in control of us. The woman is the womb, where the man came from. So think about that. I just went on a very intense rant. But, so yeah, let's get some other cards. Okay, I am back, Pile 2s. So let's continue with our reading. So now we're going to look at the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, so we can get a little more insight on your life purpose. I know I was like, all about that feminine energy, Pile 2, for reals. So, let's see. Well, So we've got the 13 Les Morts, which I believe is the death card in the regular or regular tarot or Rider-Waite tarot, as I like to call the Rider-Waite tarot. We have the number 8, Possession. We got Radha, number 2, Nanan Buklau. We have Radha Laplace. We've got Santeria Ten Ochosi. Like that. Arrow. Very Sagittarius looking. Courier Le Mardi Gras. 15. Okay. And then your bottom of the deck energy is Urzuli La Flambeau. Switch I really like this card. It's like dancing corn and daggers. Okay. So let's start with this, Les Morts, which is the death card. The Morts are the dead, both named and forgotten. Among their ranks are numbered deceased ancestors. The dead wait in the abyssal waters that ebb and flow beneath the earth. In these waters they wait and watch, and if bidden, reach out with sure fingers to guide and regulate the affairs of the still living practitioner. They can come again in the bodies of the newborn, the great mothers, and the grandfathers, swim in the salty waters of the birth canal, seeking once again the light of the sun and the moon. In their coming to the covenant that contains all covenants is fulfilled. The new issues from the old, and in an unbroken spiral of universal flux, the last words of the dying echo in the infant's first cry. The path of divine twins finds holy completion. The Les Morts card shows a pair of hands reaching down into the waters to the dead, who swim in a green swirling cloud pulsing with yellowish power. The hands represent a request for wise counsel and a promise to perform the rites necessary to bring a spirit quickly from the waters. Some of the dead seem to eagerly seek the promise of the hands, while others are content to stare out of the surface of the card or to explore the depths of the water. A chicken shares their sacred space as a reminder that just as all life is sacred, so all death is also sacred. All beings have their place in the great cycle. Each is of inestimable value. A primary aspect of this card is motion. All are wrapped in a great swirling tide. Worlds and their beings interpenetrate. Death is not static, and life is not quick. All moves in its own time to its own measure. Contemplation. Transformation, a blurring of the boundaries between life and death. Development of the ability to see life and death and life. Divination, change, flux, messages from the dead, in particular from the questioner's ancestors. Probably need to make offerings to the ancestors. So yes, ancestors are very important, but I'm also just seeing that this idea of these hands reaching out to the dead, and I feel like these hands, the living hands, are you reaching out to people who are suffering or who you're taking care of, and that could literally mean living ancestors, like family members that you are taking care of, and the people people in general who you're taking care of, and you're reaching out, and some people are going to be openly grabbing your hand, being like, yes, I totally see where I can find help and out of here, and other people are going to be like, no, I don't really. They're lost in these like green gooey things, which could be like their thoughts or their doubts, or there could be people in your life who actually really need your help and have been pushing you away, and in your heart that they need your help, and they know it too, and you just keep going, and that's so wonderful and beautiful, pile 2, and just keep going and doing that. So then we have number 8, Possession, which I'll see what that is in regular tarot. Strength. Oh, the Strength card, yes, which is my favorite card in tarot. I love the Strength card, which is like in Rider Waite, it's the lady taming the tiger, or I like when she's riding the tiger, taming him like oh cowgirl style. Anyway, and like see, there's a horse for this picture for possession. So yeah, taming the beast, right? So strength is strength and lust, and that's the same with the Thoth tarot deck is a woman riding a lion, but it's called lust instead of strength. So let's see what that goes into. Dance sets the stage for the drama of possession. Here, the question of who dances is answered with style and detail. Lust, manifested as divine drunkenness and ecstasy, moves the dancer inward to the brink of individual being. The cup runs over, and self is obliterated in the torrent of self. Strength, the ability to exert effort toward a given end, is present in the dancer. To show a degree that the sacred is drawn within him or her, actions then flow from the sacred's inexhaustible reservoir of grace. Many fear possession. This is a rational fear, for we all risk. What most of us struggle with is possession by personality. To the extent that we identify with our personalities, we are possessed by that personality's limiting definitions of self. Personality is such an acceptable and pervasive expression of self in society that it is frequently unexamined. It is often mistaken for self. The boundless wealth of self comes to be encased in the roles, mores, and expectations of personality. Possession by such a small god strangles the vast array of possibilities inherent in the self. So you may be downplaying yourself as you're taking care of these people, and you have to remember to come back to yourself, to have that lust for life, to not just think that you're just a slave to other people, that you understand that you are doing this out of compassion, and that the resentment you feel is these blocks to the true love that you have. And that, like, if you truly resent something and you're just doing this service and creating this resent, then this isn't service. This is just forced labor by you. So if you feel like, say, you feel obligated to take care of a parent who is sick and it's really draining on you, or they're abusing you emotionally, and it's very draining to take care of a person, then maybe it is time to let go and figure out someone who can take care of them without you losing yourself. If you're in any sort of relationship where you are losing yourself, you need to take a step back and figure out how to reclaim yourself before you completely lose yourself. And that is so frightening. It's just as scary as death, I believe, is losing the self and not realizing who you are beyond the needs of another person. Because then that's literally like a death in you that happens. So take that in consideration. Again, with this card, the contemplation is, who is it that says I? What are the aspects and attributes of this I? Do they change? Does the I change? Divination, strength, a bursting free from the bounds of limiting belief, courage, and the sufficient energy to act effectively. So yes, find that self, because pile 2, I'm getting this nurturing energy. And that for a lot of you, there is this selflessness. And selflessness and martyrhood are definitely qualities in feminine energy that are rewarded and highlighted. And those are very noble things for a certain extent. Because if we were all martyrs, then we'd all be dead. And then there would be no society. So we cannot lose ourselves in the sacrifice of who we are to other people. If you kill the sustainer, then there is no one holding that clay and nothing will be formed. So remember that. You cannot kill the captain for the ship, is what I'm getting. that if there is no captain to steer the ship is just dead in the water. So understand that people get into the illusion when they're really, really caring for someone or other people, that they get lost in other people's needs. And you need to find yourself, because these people are relying on you to guide them. And if they lose their guide, then everything that you worked for is gone. And also, again, for people who feel like this is overwhelming and are in a job or in a situation where they're taking care of people or a person and it is really detrimental to them, then you need to go out of that situation immediately, because it's just going to break you apart, and you need to find help so that you can live your life and really serve society in the best way possible, instead of into someone who is draining all your service. Then we have Rada 2, Nanan Buklau. So that's the Two of Cups, which is kind of like a loving card of love. Is that right? Yeah. No, it's the Two of Swords. In regular tarot, but let's see. Let's see. Hold it up for you guys. Creation through the principle of 0 equals 2. The 0 as the womb of the Nanan Buklau, and the 2 as the Marasa. Marasa is like twins, the holy twins. Mutual benefit based upon the experience of and devotion to the Grand Mother. The card shows 2 men gathering roots and herbs under a tree. Nanan Buklau is present as the forest itself, which provides medicines and ingredients for powders. One man holds a root that looks like a mandrake. Mandrake is an important element in a number of Western magical spells. The mandrake root is said to take the shape of a miniature man or woman, and to find one of these roots is to gain access to great power. The men depicted in the card freely share their knowledge openly, showing their findings to one another, so that two become one energy. In regular tarot, the Two of Swords is a woman who is blindfolded that has the swords crossed in front of her, and it's more about using your intuition. But here again is that idea of service and working together. The 0 equals 2, and working together for like that common good. And also, I've never seen a mandrake, but that might be significant to you if you also do magic work, and that maybe working with the mandrake would be helpful. It sounds really cool. If I find I'd like to find a mandrake root. So yeah, mandrake, look that up. And just like seeing this other person here, that they're working together to help the forest, again, is that environmentalist thing. But just finding, like what I was talking about, like that caregiver network. If you are working alone, find other people, other caregivers. That is who is going to take care of you, because you need a fallback plan. Because the caregiver, like who heals the healer? That is the question. And you need that support system as you are caring for this other person. If you're going to continue to care for these people, this person, just find a network for yourself of other people who are also in your same situation. Find that outlet so that you don't lose yourself. Then we have Rada Laplace. Let's look what that is. This Laplace is the airy part of air. The sustainability of air is magnified twofold. The intellect wanders from one subject to another, from a set intellectual position to its opposite. It is as if the mind is blown about by the winds created by its own prior movements. This creates a type of perpetual motion with no firm object or destination. The type of mind described by this card is highly intelligent but lacks firmness. Simbi may be an apt loa for a person with these characteristics. The aspect of this card is that of the La Place standing over the center of the crossroads. A golden whirlwind issues from the tip of the machete as it cuts through the air. It seems as if a great deal of show and power has been expended for minimal effect. This person described by the card are brilliant in argument and intellectual discussion, but lack conviction. The points they make so well are unrelated, one contradicting the other. Physically, this person is apt to be a young man with dark hair and dark eyes. So that idea that, like, just someone swiping at air, and this person with, like, yeah, great ideas, great intellect, but lacks conviction, lacks that action. What I'm getting is, if anyone watched My Little Pony, the pony Fluttershy, who's the shy one, but who has an amazing ability to talk to animals and care for animals, and is an amazing caregiver. And that's what a lot of caregivers fall into, is that it's hard for them to say no and set these boundaries because they are so giving, and that a lot of their self comes from other people. But you need to set those boundaries. You can't just be swiping at air or just not talking to people and telling them what you need. That they have to understand that you have to be taken care of, or they won't be taken care of. If they take everything away from you, then there's no one there to take care of them. So you have to understand that you have to set these boundaries. You have to set that sword down and say, you know, this is as much as I can do. Like, say you're in a tough relationship with your mother, and she's always calling you every day and then putting you down emotionally, and that you need to set boundaries. Like, Mom, if you are going to stay in this negative attitude, I can't talk to you this often. And I know that makes you upset, but I need to set boundaries about a relation if you want our relationship to continue. So something like that, where you're telling the person that you're caring for what you need out of that. Like, as a preschool teacher, I have to set boundaries for the children and create discipline. The word discipline comes from the word disciple, which means learner, someone who is learning. Discipline doesn't mean punishment. It actually means teaching someone the right path, the right way to go for their best outcome. Like, if you don't teach a child to listen to you or hold your hand while you're walking by a street that has cars going down it, there is the possibility of them getting hurt or getting hit by a car. So you have to create discipline so that they understand the boundaries that they have, so they can be safe. And then also that you create boundaries to show where your limits are, so you don't get drained and overwhelmed. Then we have Santeria, 10 of Pentacles. And I love that card, that arrow, Ochosi. Solidarian produce is what tens mean in this deck. So produce is like growing things. So Santeria, Earth, Ochosi. Ochosi, Orisha of hunters and of the animals of the forest. The ground you roam has never known human step. Your sharp eye and sure hand provide food and clothing in the village. The bounty of Ochosi is more than enough. The Orisha provides what is necessary and more. The meats and skins must be treated and put to use quickly, or they will be lost, rendered useless by decay. The card shows a golden arrow shot into the bluish night sky and falling to earth. Blue and gold are the colors of this Orisha. The stars and the destinies they carry were the object of the arrow's flight. It found its mark and returns to earth with its starry game. Contemplation, quiet forest morning, the sound of a bowstring snapping. An arrow takes flight. Divination, accumulation, that which was gathered, spoils, if not put to use. So, yes, again, using, really owning up to your power. And, what was it? Oh, yeah. That which is gathered spoils if not put to use. So, if you don't see the power in your caregiving, then it is going to spoil, and that you are going to rot with it. And the people you take care of, again, will not get the care that they need. So understanding your power and setting boundaries is going to be really important for your stability. And then we have Courrier Le Mardi Gras, number 15, which is the Devil card. This is like a cute little devil. It's just like, looks like he's on a mushroom. Time stops, caught in the rush of free fall. Colors circle in the drunken reverie. Horses' hooves rise and fall in rhythms that awaken ancient memories. Flung high from the rooftop, a bird touches the stars and then falls down to meet hard, frosted ground. Fate stretches before the eyes in nightmarish landscape. Feathers are splayed in the fierce chill of the wind, head down, dry mouth open in fear and anticipation. Panic marks the feet and then the hands of the fall. There is no god here but Pan. All else has fled before the hooves and the wind and the sound of flapping wings. Courrier Le Mardi Gras, Run the Mardi Gras, is traditional in southwestern Louisiana. On Fat Tuesday, Cajun men and women dressed in bizarre costumes ride out in the early morning. When the farmhouses within the parameters of the run are approached, their owners climb onto the roofs, each holding a chicken. As the riders circle the house, a chicken is thrown from the rooftop to be fought over by the riders. The winner breaks the chicken's neck and hangs the body from the horse's saddle as a sign to all of the riders' daredevil abilities. The chicken is later used to make gummo. The card shows a horned or long-eared figure on the roof of a skull-like hut. A black red-headed rooster falls through the air toward the run, which circles the hut. The card conveys an image of wild, unleashed energy, quite like the wild ride or wild horde of Western mysticism. Attributes of this card include the material taken to its conclusion, pushed to its limits, and beyond. This is the point at which the material turns in upon itself in a burning fury. This is the meaning of the carnival, farewell to flesh. Flesh, or the material, is taken to its extreme and explodes in a brilliant display of sacred frenzy. Contemplation, the self as totally alone, yet part of the great web of existence. Exactly. You are yet alone. You have yourself, but you as a caregiver are a part of this whole community that you are serving. And again, even if you are serving just one person, it affects the community. It affects society. Star and star, system and system, rushing through the universe to courses set by their own individual wills. Apart from all, yet a part of all. Uncontrolled energies, material considerations pushed to their limits, creativity exercised regardless of effect, questions of individuality and interdependency. Yes, questions of individuality and interdependence, where you are like this ecosystem of whatever you're passionate towards or what you're caring for, and that you have to show when you are an individual and when you are a part of the collective, and it ebbs and flows to create that balance. And then finally we have Urzuli La Flambeau, which is the Seven of Wands in regular tarot. And we have contemplation, rage and hate binds you to your object as closely as does great love. So yes, this is talking about that resentment. If you are feeling resentment to those that you care about, understand that there is also love within there, and that if the resentment is far greater than the love, then either you have to look into relieving that resentment and understanding the love you have, or you need to leave the situation. That maybe if the resentment is that great, then you are not the correct caregiver for this person or these people. Hate and love are both sides of the coin whose denomination is union. Will is the name of the hand that distributes these coins. Divination, forceful and decisive action in the matter at hand, bringing to bear the full force of emotional involvement in the situation. Swift emotional ordeals leading to a refinement of personality or spiritual essence. Rage, persons unified by anger. So what I'm getting from this card is that there could be also, as a natural caregiver, you probably repressed a lot of the anger that you've gotten, or anger or resentment in your life, and that the more you repress it, it doesn't go away. It festers, and then at some point will explode, exactly like a boiling pot who has its lid on. It's, if you don't control that, or if you don't release that, then that control, it turns into a lid, and it that is why bombs have a shell around it. That is that lid, because that pressure cooks up in there and explodes. And ultimately, you don't want that. You are so connected to other people that it's going to hurt you as much as it's going to hurt them when you explode. So think about that, about releasing, first, understanding your individuality, and secondly, understanding your anger and what that means to you. Do you even recognize that you have anger? Do you say, like, I'm not an angry person, like, nothing angers me? Like, really look into that. Anger is as just a legitimate emotion as sadness and happiness and fear. A lot of people avoid anger because they grew up around people who were very open with their anger, and that scared them. So look into that as well. So then we're going to get these dream interpretation cards, and these are just dream pieces of dream metaphor that can maybe give us some more insight on what your life purpose is. Okay. So we have strangers. So again, taking care of all kinds of people. And also the strangers card is also reiterating that idea that finding other people, finding other caregivers who are like you, that can help you lessen the load, or friends that maybe you can take a break from whoever you're caring for, or after work that you can just hang out with, and find people that you don't need to care for, that you can just hang out as equals. That would be very helpful. Writing, which is again where we got that yes, this strength card, the person riding the lion and taming these energies, and again learning about your anger and taming that as well. Youth. So what I'm getting from this is that a lot of you didn't really have that kind of childlike childhood because you were maybe parenting parents. And that could also have moved on to your adult life, where you're maybe in a relationship that you are again being the parent instead of the equal. So again, work on that. And then this is also showing me, look into inner child wounds, past wounds that you had as a child, your relationships to your parents, especially if you are taking care of your parents as an adult. So look into that childhood wounds and how to heal them. Then we have falling. So yes, finally falling into that subconscious. That a lot of things that you've been dealing with, you've kind of been just dealing with what's right in front of you, when what's really going to affect your outcome, your life purpose, is the ability to go into the depths of your psyche, back again into those childhood wounds, and possibly maybe just seeking professional help to guide you through this process. And that could also be a part of your network, is just, even if it's hard to find other people, find a therapist who can listen to you, and just have someone talk about the difficulties of being a caregiver and someone who cares for other people. It's a burden, and it doesn't have to be. It can be released, and people are out there who are their job to listen to these kinds of things, so that you are not burdened anymore, and that you can be the best caregiver and the most powerful caregiver you can be. And your bottom of the deck energy is books. So learning, and what I'm getting from this is just gaining the knowledge of what you like, getting into your interests and hobbies, and really researching the things that interest you instead of, your work or whoever you're giving care to. Okay, and so now we're gonna get some divination decks. Okay, so we have an M, a horse. So again, that riding and taming this, and look up horse, spiritual meaning as well, and maybe horses can be important to you. We have a 6 or a 9, and a K, a B or BK, a ladybug, a lucky ladybug, resilient ladybug. It's just reminds me of like spring, summer, like fresh start. We have goldfish, which for some reason I'm getting like the idea that the goldfish can't remember things, or like that short-term kind of thing. So maybe just not, again, what I'm getting is that like not holding on to that resentment and working with your anger again, because there can be a lot of resentment when you're caring for people. When it's not an equal balance in the relationship, that you're going to have to give to yourself. And what I'm seeing is like the fish who lives in their own fish tank as well, and taking care of yourself within your own fish tank. All right, so let's get some charms. So we've got the teacup. So what I'm getting from this is that, again, just take some time for yourself to relax. Even just getting a cup of tea. Just find ways to treat yourself. Treat yourself. That's what I'm getting. We have this kind of like cog, working parts, and it's always attached to something different. So this is like this crystal and this like pink leaf. So there's like this beauty in this rusty, like the work that you do is going to create that diamond in the rough that we were talking about earlier, that gem. So keep working at it. Find the inner joy and the things that make you happy and fulfill you, and the people that make you happy and fulfill you, so you can keep on doing your powerful work. We have this, which is the white flowers. That's like a wreath. So I'm seeing like, again, understanding your innocence and the worth in you, and purifying your situation. That could mean like cleansing the blocks in your chakras and anywhere where you feel tension. And again, also working with your inner child and healing inner child wounds. We have this, there's like a little earring hook in there. It's very strange. So you see this little hook? It wasn't usually there, and I can't close it completely. So what I'm seeing is like, this is you and your beautiful little world, and you're feeling like whatever you're working on, that you're caring for, is kind of like this hook in you, and you're trying to work with it to get it closed. So what I'm seeing is that you need someone to help you pull it out like this. So that means a network, other people, a therapist, so that you can truly be whole. See? And be the great little world you are. And then finally the circle, which also goes with that. Coming full circle and finding balance all together. That golden balance. Look up the spiritual meaning of gold too. I think gold is significant to you as well. So that's all I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you for stopping by at Reading Rainbow's Divination, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, it's me, ShandrahFaith, with Reading Rainbow's Divination, here for another pick a card reading for you. And you chose pile number 3 with the classic My Little Pony. My little pony, my little pony, ya, 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 ya. I want to show you this. Shouts out to my cousin for giving me this as a present long ago. Just feeling that magical energy for you guys, pile 3. So let's see what your life purpose is. Magical energies. The underworld. Medallion. Wow. These are major things. These are called the initiators in this deck. Oh. I'm using the Archetypes Guidebook by Kim Krans for your main reading. So yeah, I'll probably read about what initiators are and how they're significant to your journey. Pile 3. Let's see, can we clarify apocalypsis? Okay. Let me clarify the medallion. Cave and the riddle. Wow. And your bottom of the deck energy is Kairos, a 4th initiator card. So definitely to read what the initiator cards mean. Oh, initiations. The initiation cards 71 through 78 are similar to trump cards or the major arcana in the tarot. They represent the big moments, junctures, and situations in life that carry major significance. Along our journey, archetypically speaking, initiations are events that change us on a fundamental level. They are the big whammies of life. In the model of the hero's journey, they may be called the ordeal. Think falling in love, heartbreak, beyond heartbreak, death of a loved one, marriage, divorce, moving, having a child, facing a trial, or experiencing a spiritual awakening that shakes your foundation. We know we have gone through an initiatory experience when the very fiber of life as we know it has changed. We can't go back to the person we were before, but we are not yet quite sure who the new self is. Because of the weight these cards carry, take time to contemplate them deeply. You could study one of these concepts for an entire lifetime and be left with unanswered questions. That is what makes them so powerful. They are the keys that unlock the entire deck. Eventually, we come to understand that the initiations are markers of a deeply personal experience that connects us with the timeless story of humanity. So yes, big change cards are going on. Your life is experiencing this shift so that you can find your purpose in life, and that's why you're drawn to this video, because you want to know what is all these shifts that are going on. So we have the underworld clarified by Agape. Apocalypsis clarified by the Vision. The Medallion clarified by the Riddle and the Cave. And then your overall bottom of the deck energy, another initiation card, is Kairos. Whoa, that looks cool in the light. Okay, so let's start with the underworld and Agape, clarified by Agape. So the underworld, the nightmare, the ordeal, the bottom. This is no time to mince words. The archetypal territory of the underworld is fraught with nightmares, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm which we try diligently to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths. Through disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death, not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it dangerous power. Traversing it forces us to bow humbly to the greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light, and amid our shadowy times. Facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. When light, bravery, depth, facing of deepest fears. When dark, denial, suppression, evil, unconsciousness. Go deeper, read Meeting the Shadow, edited by Connie Zweig and Jeremiah Abrams. So, what I'm getting is that for some of you, you could actually work as demonologists or people who work with healing dark energies and going into the underworld, lifting the veil. You could also be for psychics or diviners, people who are very intuitive. And for those of you who haven't discovered that, it's within you that I believe that we all have psychic abilities. We just, different people tap into it to a deeper extent, and some people completely ignore it. So what I'm seeing from this is that you've come to this video because you want to tap into that world if you haven't already, is what I'm seeing. So then Agape is devotion, unconditional love. So a great thing into going into the underworld is that you're going to need that light. And in this card you can see all the little candles and bits of light that are creating these other like little rays of light that are hitting off, reflecting, and that's what you need to do to go into the darkness. I could also see that you might be going into like a psychology, psychiatry, something like that, where you're delving into people's minds. And I mean, psychology and divination, and also working with healing spirit, or even being like I could see like being an exorcist or something like that. Someone who works with helping people through the darkness that they are facing and being that light for them. So agape is service, reverence, honor, joy, when dark, spiritual, bypassing, and righteousness go deeper. Children's choirs from around the world. So yes, that like sacred, here, let's read these last parts. The agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? So, yeah, your life's purpose seems to be climbing this ladder, but it's going into the darkness. It's not going up, but you are bringing the light down into that. So I see you, pile 3, also yourself going into this time of darkness to understand other people's darkness, and that your purpose here is to heal people from their dark parts. So that's why I'm getting a big like therapist, psychologist, counselor vibe, someone who listens, who's a good listener. And a part of being a super professional listener is that not only do you listen, but you go down and guide them, in Dante's Inferno, where he has Virgil lead him down into the underworld. So a reading recommendation is Dante's Inferno, going into the depths to just understand how to get out of the depths, or what to avoid, like negative thinking and all the different levels of hell that Dante explains. Look into that and see what is represented in your life. If you are living in any of the circles of hell, or all the circles of hell in your living life. I mean, I believe that heaven and hell are here on earth with us, and that we need to face where we are at in life. Are we living in a heaven, or are we living in a hell? And that's important lessons we have to learn. Then we have another initiation cards, which is Apocalypsis. So Apocalypsis is removing the veil of deception. Apocalypsis indicates a particularly painful time, one that unfolds when 2 disparate dynamics occur simultaneously, pulling the psyche in seemingly opposing directions. The first is a lifting of the veil. This means truths that have been kept in the dark are revealed, seen, and unearthed. No matter how relieving it is to witness them come into the light, an element of despair and grief follows. The second dynamic is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truth. The old narrative breaks and a new story forms. Apocalypsis energy is similar to a forest fire's devastation for the sake of regeneration. The veil lifts and we see who and what has been hiding. From the nakedness of the truth, a child is born. Have faith in the process. Hold on to your center. That is the only way. When light, the unknown, becomes known and guides the way. When dark, nihilism, fatalism, hopelessness. Go deeper. Michael Mead's Why the World Doesn't End, the movie This Is the End. So what I'm seeing here with the apocalypsis is that something did come to the end, but it's clarified by the vision, where something broke open, kind of like an egg that broke open, and all this knowledge and wisdom. That's why you got the two owls. I feel like that represent knowledge and wisdom, and all that vision that you have for the future. And it's also how I see that this rainbow is within this darkness. It's you unearthing this light within people's darkness, and really analyzing both yourself and the world around you. And you definitely do have a vision, a great passion for seeking the truth. So you could be also into philosophy, and philosophy and psychology, I believe, go hand in hand. So something like that, where you're moving towards that ultimate truth that you're seeking. Then we have the medallion, clarified by the cave and the riddle, which the cave and the riddle get me to that story of how man was in a cave and was seeing shadows of things, and then finally emerged with this knowledge. But then I imagine there were so many more questions. So that's what I'm seeing, is that the cave, you emerge from your cave, and then you're both amazed and just in this awe, like just like a toddler who is always asking questions and asking why, and it's like you're an adult asking why, because of this medallion. So I'm going to read to you about the medallion. The medallion, the amulet, the talisman, the heirloom, the passing on of sacred object is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We gift jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kinds, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with the unconscious energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and collect? Why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it is time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. When light, upholding tradition, protecting, honoring. When dark, burdensome, inheritance, habituation. Go deeper, ancient Egyptian scarab opulence. So this purpose you have could be an ancestral purpose, or that was handed down to you from your family, like a family practice, or just an interest that family members in the past have had, and that you are carrying on that legacy, that you are carrying on, like maybe if it is psychology, that your parents were psychologists and you want to continue that. And it's a part of exiting that cave, that if that resonates with you, you were in a cave within your family and you thought you knew everything because you grew up with this. Like, say if you grew up with a family of artists, it's once you emerge from that cave, that nest of your home, your childhood home, you think you know everything about art and all this stuff, and then you realize that it's more of a riddle the more you know. So yeah, delve into that, or even talk to your parents or whoever, whatever mentor that really guided you down to what you're passionate about right now, and see if they have any more clues. Or the medallion reminds you of just like when people in a video game or in a fantasy movie are given like a special, even like in Dumbo when he's given that magic feather, and you know, there's the magic is in his belief. So maybe a mentor or a family member can give you some sort of magic feather or some sort of knowledge that can keep you going towards your life purpose and keep you in the depths, like as you are entering the underworld, as you're fighting demons or helping people through therapy, that you are guided by this magic medallion as you enter the depths, because that is your work, is to enter the dark world, whatever that means to you, and guide people out of it, to be that guiding light for you. And then finally, your overall bottom of the deck energy is Kairos. And Kairos is mythic time, synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this nonlinear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No cloak can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment later. When light, alignment, ease, and decisions in action. When dark, fighting against time. Go deeper, Felix Taurus, Untitled, Perfect Lovers. Oh, I love that I posted that. Perfect Lovers is just these two, it was like a 2-year art project in the MoMA, and they were he set up 2 clocks that were in sync, and over the course of 2 years got out of sync, but they were still lovers. So what I'm getting from this divine timing, is that there is a lot of patience, of course, with working with being a light worker, basically, is what you're doing, because you're bringing that light into the darkness. So with any light work, there is patience that needs to be developed, and understanding that if you are not in the place that you want to be right now, that it will work out, and that you need to have that faith that you can work with divine timing by cultivating your decisions and moving slowly but surely through your life, and not hastily making your choices in life, that you really think about it and you use that guidance, those medallions that your family, friends, mentors are giving you, and use that guidance to fill your light. Don't let yourself just fill the light, and or even attempt to go into other people's darknesses without a light. You need that light from other people first before you go down into the darkness. Okay, so now we are going, where did I put that book? Oh. We're going to get a little more guidance with the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. So let's get some guidance on pile 3's life purpose. Oops. All right. Oh, beautiful energy. And then we have Lake Lam Flambeau as your bottom of the deck energy. Look at that red. I love that. Looks really cool. So we've got Nanan Buklau, Rada, two of Rada, which is two of swords. In the regular tarot, or Rider-Waite tarot, regular tarot as I call it, this is the Seven of Cups, or Seven of Coin in the regular tarot, and it's Oshun, Santeria. Then you got Marasa, number 6. The twins. It's like to me in this deck, it's like a twin flame card, so you might be working with a twin flame. Then we have Congo 7, La Sirene, mermaid. And then we got Santeria 6, Alegua. Hello. Okay, so let's start with the Rada. No, I'm Blue Cloud. Oh. Okay. Contemplation. Creation through the principle of O equals 2, 0 equals 2, the 0 as the womb, Nana Buklau, and the 2 as the Marasa. And look at that. You did get the Marasa, the twins. So this is, Nana Buklau is actually represented by the tree, and as like Mother Nature as a whole. And these are two men who are sharing the mandrake root. Right here that looks kind of like a person. And they're working together to sustain that nature, sustain the womb that they come out of. That's what I'm getting. So the divination is the mutual benefit based upon the experience and of the devotion to the grandmother. So what I'm seeing is this respect and, again, looking to your ancestors, your family, your mentors to understand your destiny, to understand where you're going, and to seek that guidance, especially for if your life purpose was a passed down vocation from your family, and that has been running in your family. And if you want to continue that, if you really have, like, if you feel like, oh, I don't want to be this, then yeah, don't use your intuition, use your knowledge. But if it really is calling you, but you've also had trouble really accepting your true passions, or maybe you tried to rebel against doing what your parents did and being like, that would never be for me, look into that. That happened to me with owning my own business. My dad was very much a businessman and really loved, he still does, loves the art of business. And I grew up really thinking that was just like, that's my dad's thing. I'm going to grow up to be an artist and not have to worry about money or owning my own business. Like, I just don't want to be a part of that. And now I own my own business. So, but there was a lot of blocks to it, and there still are. I'm still growing. I'm still a learning boss with my own business. So a lot of myself blocked that because I really thought that was my dad's thing. And it was about growing up and being like, as a kid, I thought I didn't understand. I didn't understand owning your own business. I didn't understand working with clients. So I thought that just wasn't for me just because I didn't understand it. But as an adult and understanding that I actually do have the ability to run a business and be successful in that. So accepting the gifts, this is what the medallion is accepting the gifts of our of our family, whatever that means, doesn't have to be blood family. It could be just mentors who raised you in this field that you're in. Get those gifts and don't deny them. And don't deny what you're naturally good at and what has been passed to you. Then we have Santeria 7, Oshun, which is the 7 of Pentacles. Oshun. Oh, and I have the Oshun goddess right here. Oshun is the Santeria goddess of love. She is patron of the earthy aspects of love as well as art and dance. The emotions she expresses are deeply tied to the sacred earth. As a deity of love, Oshun shares many attributes with Urzuli, but there are no tears in her self-assured demeanor. She carries within herself the power of love, firmly planted in Earth's steady influence. This card pictures her with a fan and a mirror's illusion. But she manages to look from the surface of the card squarely at the reader in an assured, solid fashion. Her primary attribute is her ability to ground the emotions, to give them a solid form in which to reside and grow. Take stock of your loves. Look at the ways in which they take on substance and form. This is one of the faces of Oshun. Divination. Emotions manifest in concrete fashion. A sacrament can be defined as an outward sign of invisible or interior state. The creation of a sacrament which will bring to fruition some emotional involvement. For example, the purchase of a house can be viewed as an outward sign of emotional involvement in a social or biological family. Possible disappointment in the solid forms love takes. So, what I'm seeing here is that you are being given things from your family. That could be a literal thing that is happening, and you are making the most out of it in your current situation. Like, say you are given a house and you might be overwhelmed by it and not knowing what to do, and learning how to be someone who is an adult, who has a house, who has a successful job, and again dealing with the success that you have and the potential you have in the future. And just understand that you have a good support system, especially in your work with the darkness, that you continue that. And what I'm seeing is that being this like light peacock energy as you go into the depths, into the darkness, is that you still stay that dazzling light in there. And by using your emotional stability to help the rest of society. So then we have the Marasa, the twins. I'm going to show you that. And or the lovers in the regular tarot. Contemplation, the enjoyment of duality as expression of existence. Divination, acceptance of differences, the possibility of turning a perceived threat to your benefit by emphasizing common ground or interests. Childlike qualities, childlike fear, anger, or mirth. Yes, so understanding your inner child again. This is also like an inner child card, but we'll get to that too. But then there's also this merging, this playfulness, that also if you are on the twin flame journey, understanding that your twin's journey can also help you as you're going towards your spiritual and physical goals in life, and that can also mean again, understanding your family background and your ancestors and what they have given to you to work with your future goals. Then we have Congo 7, which would be the 7 of Cups in the regular tarot. La Sirene, this beautiful mermaid. Two sevens. La Sirene is the mermaid. While her realm is that of the ocean or the world womb, her human qualities give her access to the mysteries of the land. She is the great bridge between those who inhabit the fathomless depths of the seas and the creatures of the dry land. She is the water form of Urzuli, and Agui is her husband. In terms of chesed, she also acts as a connection or bridge between Agui and La Baleine, the whale. La Baleine moves freely along the ocean's bottoms and is privy to their secrets. From her, La Sirene has much to tell Agui. La Sirene, as her name implies, is a loa responsible for the sacred songs of the voodoo ceremony. These songs combine music and the word to generate the fascination that helps to so strongly focus the attention of the voodoo devotees. Here once more, La Sirene bridges two elements, music and the spoken word. Her card emphasizes blue, which is her color. The whale shown swimming behind her is La Baleine. Oh, there's the whale. Right there. So whales may be significant to you. La Sirene is companion to the whale and transmits the generative power of the oceans and the spirit of the emotions. She is a creature of two worlds, bridging the gap between the solid land and the ever-shifting waters. The primary attribute of La Sirene is emotional connection. Her power is that of empathy. Contemplation. We stand with one foot in the visible world and the other in the world of the invisibles. We operate as a connection or link between these worlds, and La Sirene is the emotional component of this link. In her is found the emotional force to bridge this gap. So a lot, again, about emotions and connecting with your emotions and helping people. Once you solidify your emotions and understand where you're secure, you can again lead people out of the darkness into the light. Divination. In affairs of the emotions, there is to be a bridging or a joining of elements. A marriage is the most obvious manifestation. Whether the elements of marriage are two people or a bringing together of ways in which the world is being perceived. The siren song of deception, causing one to forget his or her will. So you may get lost in the darkness too. So it is very important to ground yourself and not get swept away. And that's why you have, this 7 is the 7 of water over here. So water is emotion. And then this is the 7 of earth. So this is the grounding force. So if you're going to go into the depths of other people's emotions, especially if you're going into therapy and psychology, you are going into other people's emotions, so you can get easily swept up in that. And so to ground yourself, find grounding rituals, grounding meditations to work with, especially before you work with working with healing people or being a listener, a professional listener. And just remember to ground yourself before you do this work so that you're not swept away. And then we have a Legua, which is the 6 of Pentacles in the regular Rider-Waite Tarot. So let's look at that. Elegua, Saint's Head of concrete, Orisha of the jungle, come to the city. Cowrie shall eyes stare from behind doorways, from under objects. Hidden Alegua the watcher, Alegua the trickster, concrete laugh from cowering mouth. Followers of Santeria often have concrete orishas hidden behind doors to the house to protect it. Some build buildings, some build saints. Ori head, lost as shadows lengthen, come play in the brightness of the sun. As Legba is the old man who walks through the phases of the sun, so Alegua is the child who carries the word, and new seed to lands barren with age. Alegua is the child Orisha, dancing between the red and black sons of Legba. So a lot about words as well. The siren was about words, using the words. And so an important part in your life purpose is that not only should you be a good listener, but you are able to respond. The best way to respond is to listen first, and to listen very intently and not think about your response while the other person is talking. You need to be listening. That is the best way to respond. If you are thinking of how to respond and not listening to the other person, you're not going to be responding correctly. So think about that, about the importance of your words. The aspect of Alegua presented by this card is that of a young girl with cowrie shell eyes, standing partly behind a door. She is ever the trickster. She will let you in, but there is no telling whether you can get out on this card. The door is open to indicate a clear path, success. So for those of you who are working with healing people or with healing people as a therapist or counselor, understand that it's slowly where you take that process for people to open themselves to you and open that door. And that idea of the trickster isn't a bad thing. It's that people have put up walls to avoid pain, and as you're trying to have them open up to you and have them open up to healing, you have to do it slowly and cautiously. And again, that's that divine timing you were getting, is that patient move towards it and not to rush in your endeavors. Slow and steady wins the race. Pile 3. The primary attribute of Alegua is that of playfulness. Messages entrusted to his care without proper sacrifice can be justified. So you got two cards of playfulness, that this card and the Alegua, these children, this playfulness. So again, along with grounding, find ways to be playful and satisfy the inner child within. Yes, to ground yourself as you do this heavy work. Contemplation, a message given to a child to relay. Divination, proper care in the matter at hand ensures favorable outcome. The influence of a child or a childlike person. So yes, again, affirming that you need to connect to your inner child, and a way to do that is by finding what your inner child likes to do and have fun with that. So then your bottom of the deck energy is Petro 6 Legba La Flambeau, which is the 6 of Wands, which usually depicts a guy on a horse who's victorious. So you got 2 6s and 2 7s. Oh wait, 3 6s. Interesting. 6 and 7s maybe. Petro Fire, Legba La Flambeau. Contemplation, touch the newness in your soul that has never known defeat, the newness that has never strayed from its original purpose. The image is that of the mane of a young lion that has never been tangled or torn in the heat of battle. So he's holding that mane. Red sun. Divination, victory, obstacles swept aside, the first necessary victories of the pure fool. A newly initiated elder flexes his or her first powers. There is no grace, there is no guilt. This is the law. Do what thou wilt. So, yes, this is really showing that victory message. That overall, when you ground yourself, when you get connected to your family and ancestors, you're going to be able, again, to be this person who brings the light into the dark. It looks like, so I think that's the lion's mane he's holding, and it looks like just a big blazing light, and the lion represents strength and loyalty, and this is all that will help you down onto your path. So now we're going to get some dream interpretation cards, so you can just get a little more insight on what your life purpose is. So what do we have for pile 3 for their life purpose? Here it is. House. Oh, we were just talking about a literal house, so you could actually come upon a house that you've got to work with. Oh my gosh. And we got, let's show it. So we got house, buying, so you could be buying a house or being given a house, money, making money, being successful, the moon, so the moon is illusions, revealing illusions, so again, you're working in that other side of people's minds and that healing work where you need to be balanced within, going into meditations. And then you have doctor. You could be a literal doctor, a psychologist, not psychologist, psychiatrist, working with people's minds, or healing, being a natural doctor. So a lot of healing going on. And then your bottom of the deck energy is fighting. So fighting for what I feel like you, as a healer, you are fighting for people's health, as being that doctor figure, whichever way that means, whatever being a doctor means to you, or being a healer, is that it is a fight to go down into those depths to heal people. It's kind of like almost the same image where they're going, I feel like they're going somewhere. One has a sword, one has a lion's mane, and it's, you have this there to lead people with. So let's get some divination blocks. Alrighty, we have a 3. Here. We have a pineapple. I got a pen. I got an apple. Pineapple pen. We got a J. A tree. So what I'm getting from the tree is that you are growing and that you were, especially if you're handed down this occupation or this purpose, and that you grew from that. And I'm getting that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree also. And then we have a 6 or a 9. A W. And a Z. Hello. Sorry, my storage got full, so we're almost done. So let's get some charms for you guys. And so we got the red bracelet with the evil eye protector. So again, going into those depths that you learn to ground and protect yourself. And that red, we had lit a red candle earlier, so that's focusing on your root chakra. So focus on learning about the root chakra, because that is where you're gonna find your grounding, is in the root chakra. And then look at that, we have the white lace with the white reef. So a lot of purity and new beginnings. And again, going back and understanding your childhood, understanding childhood wounds. And then we got here is just kind of this working machine within you that is both embracing your intuition and that emotional part and also that logical part, which is married with how these two things, this earring and this charm, are attached. So using that, balancing that emotion and logic together. And then finally we have the gold circle. Whoa! Oh my gosh. That fell. But that is showing balance and completion as well. And gold may be significant to you if you can find the spiritual meaning of gold. And then we have a J again. I think we got 2 J's. JJ. All right. That's all I have for you, pile 3.